All right, guys, I'm going to show you how to complete the atomic theory development timeline assignment. This is going to be one of the major projects for this unit here, and it's going to be worth quite a bit of points, so make sure that you do get that submitted correctly and turned in. Otherwise, it could majorly impact your grade. All right, so if we take a look at it, it says, so first off, you should be in Google Classroom, especially if you're watching this video at this time, because that's where you accessed it. So if we look at the Google Classroom assignment, it says you're going to use your notes and your readings to develop a timeline that provides an overview of the development of atomic theory. So this timeline is going to be created using Timeline.JS, and you're going to add the link to it to your science website. So we've been doing quite a few readings and taking some notes on some of these scientists that added to the atomic theory development. So you're going to create essentially a timeline that shows all of that using what you know. All right, so you got steps 1 through 5 listed here. So make sure that you guys read through these, that you understand each step as you go through each piece here. I'm going to go through them with you. Make sure you also read them on your own. All right, so step 1, it says open the assignment to see the linked spreadsheet, and you're going to open it and add information about each scientist who contributed to atomic theory and the evidence that they used to develop their ideas. So I'm going to open this, and I see here that my spreadsheet is inside the assignment. The instructions are above here too if you need to re-reference those again. So I'm going to click right here to open up my timeline or my spreadsheet. All right, and we're given this empty spreadsheet here with just one row here filled out for an example. All right, so the first thing you want to do is to give your timeline a title. So you might want to title it something related to the assignment, such as, atomic theory development. All right, also add some text here, kind of just what is your project going to be about. Just be a little bit more specific here. All right, so first thing to notice after you've added your title and the subtitle there, you can see that if you hover your mouse over any of these top headings here, they're going to give you a little bit of information about what to add there. So the first one here is year. You're going to add the year that each scientist contributed their atomic theory. Right, and if you're going to do anything in BC, it's got to be in negative numbers. If you're going to do anything in AD, it's going to be in positive numbers. So in this case, Democritus here, he contributed his in about 400 BC. The headline is going to be the name of the scientist. So in this case, we have Democritus. All right, so the text is going to be where you're going to be adding your claims that the scientists made about the atom and the evidence that they collected to support their theory. So what did they say was true about the atom? What kind of model did they have? And then also what evidence did they collect to, to prove that, or not to prove, but to support that that was true? Okay. So the media, this is going to be an image URL of the scientist's atomic model. So not of the scientist himself, but of his model and what it looked like. Right. The credit is, where did you get that image from? Now, note it says do not use just Google, right? You actually have to put in the site URL. I'm going to show you guys how to get that. The media caption. So this is where you're going to describe key aspects of the atomic model, right? And then we have here the background image. So this is where you're going to add an image of the actual scientist who developed that model, all right? So Democritus should already be completed for you. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to delete this entire row here really quick just to show you how you might fill this out. All right. So first off, we know that Democritus contributed his theory in 400 BC. So again, I'd write negative 400 there. For the headline, I'm going to write his name, Democritus. The text, I have to provide Democritus's claim and his evidence. So Democritus didn't have any evidence yet, so that might be something important to add into there, but he did make some claims about the atom. So I might write Democritus believed that if you kept dividing matter again and again, eventually you would get to a particle that could not be divided any further. He did not have any evidence for this. So you're probably going to want to add, as much text as you can there just to show that you really understand, what the scientists claim and what his evidence was, right? Don't skimp on that. All right, as for the media, again, it says that we're going to add a URL, an image URL of the scientist's atomic model. So to get images, again, one of the best places is Google Images. So let's go ahead and just do a quick Google search for Democritus atomic model. All right, so that's going to bring us to the Google page. I'm going to click on images to take us to the images page. Now, keep in mind, just because you Google something doesn't mean that all the images it's going to give you are exactly accurate. For instance, we Googled Democritus's atomic model, and we can see here a lot of images that say Democritus 400 BC, but then we also see this image here. It says Dalton 1803 to 1805 that looks exactly the same. So obviously some of these may not be the most accurate. You're going to want to make sure that you use what you know, or maybe even do some research about each scientist's atomic model to make sure that you have an accurate image there. If you do not, then you might get marked down. So let's take a look at some of these other ones here. We've got Democritus's concept of the atom. If you cut the clay in half and cut it again and again and again and again, eventually you'd get down to an atom that could not be divided. That could be his model. It's a possibility. Try to avoid things like this, that have both his model, possibly, but also it has another scientist's model. Try to get one that is just the scientist that you're trying to speak about's model. So let's look at this one right here. So this one is fairly accurate, right? It says the Greeks, the atoms determine properties. So the Greeks, again, referring to Democritus. So he believed that atoms were individual particles. They weren't necessarily connected to each other, but he did believe that the different shapes caused atoms to have different, properties in the matter after you had a whole bunch of them together. Like water atoms were smooth, so they could slide and move past each other like a fluid, whereas iron atoms might be spiky, so that way they connected to each other and they were hard to, move around a bit, and they're more solid. So let's say I wanted to use this image. I'm going to click on View Image, and then I'm going to click right up here to get that URL. So I'm going to do Control-C. Okay. Now you have to do this method in order to do that. So you're going to paste the URL in there. You're pasting a link. You're not pasting an actual image in there, just the link. So make sure that you guys follow those steps to get an image into it. If not, it will not work. Now, one thing you notice here, if I go back to this page here, this URL ends in .png, right? So all of your image URLs should end in something like .png, .jpg, or .gif. Those are image formats. If you have anything ending in something else, come ask me. It might work, but in most cases that won't work. All right, so the next step says media credit. Where did you get the image from? It says provide your source, and it says do not just use Google, use the actual site name. So if I wanted to find the actual source for this, I'm going to go back to my image search, and I'm going to click on visit page here. Okay. That's going to take me to the website that I got this image from. Right? It looks like it's from a presentation website here. So you can put down the website name, or you can actually just copy the link here. I'm going to copy the link to that website, and then I'm going to paste it, Control-V, right there for the media credit. Now my media caption says to describe the key aspects of this atomic model. So again, I want to describe what this model looks like again. Okay? So I might write something like, Democritus believed that atoms were indivisible, it can't be divided, particles, and that they might have had different shapes, which might cause changes in their physical properties. And you're going to want to do some research there, make sure that you are using all that information that you've read. Right. All right, so the background is also going to be an image. So we need an image URL of the scientist who developed the model. So I need to get an actual image of Democritus. So I might open up a new tab, or I can use a previous tab, and I'm going to just search for Democritus, the atom model part. If I click on images again, I have a bunch of images of this Democritus guy. Right, I can use any one of these that I'd like. Let's go with this one. All right, so again, to get that URL, I have to click on View Image. Okay, I notice it does say .png in here, so this one will probably work. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on Control-C to copy it. Go back over here and Control-V to paste it. All right, so that's how you complete, one row for a single scientist here. So make sure you do that for each of the other 6 scientists that you have available here. Now let's move on to the next step. Okay. So I'm going to go back to Google Classroom after I've completed the entire spreadsheet here. It says for step 2, visit Timeline.JS, the link below, and follow the instructions to create an interactive timeline out of your spreadsheet. It says you can skip step 1 if you've completed the spreadsheet attached to this assignment. So I've already completed that spreadsheet theoretically. So I'm going to click right here on Timeline.JS. And that's going to take me to the website to create my timeline. Now I'm going to click on that green Make a Timeline button. All right, it says Make a Timeline. All right, so again, we can skip step 1 because that just says to make that spreadsheet. We've already done that, so we don't need to do that again. So we're going to move on to step 2. It says under the File menu on that spreadsheet, we're going to click Publish to Web. All right, so we're going to click on File and then Publish to Web. So let's go ahead and do that. File and then Publish to Web. It's going to bring up this Publish to Web window here. Now I'm going to click on Publish, okay, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to publish? I'm going to say, yes, I do. All right, and it's going to give you this link here, but we're going to ignore that for right now. We're not going to use this link. We're just going to close this window. And the link that we're actually going to use is going to be the link up here. So we're going to click up here in the browser bar, and we're going to click Control-C to copy it. And all those instructions are, oops, right here. So all those instructions are explained right over here. Right? They say to do all those same things. And then we're going to go on to step 3. It says paste that URL into the box below. So we're going to click right here where it says Google Spreadsheet URL. We're going to do Control-V to paste it. You should see that it changed here. You have optional settings that you can change, but make sure you keep things in English, but you can change the font if you'd like. Change some other things if you want to get more advanced with this. All right, step 4 says grab the embed code and paste it onto your site where you want the timeline to appear. So in this case, for us, the embed code is not really going to work. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to do 2 steps here. We're going to click preview just to make sure that our timeline works. I have my title here that I changed. All right, I got my image of that, Greek bust in the background. I've got the model here. I have the text that I wrote here, and I've got the model description here. If I went on to my other scientists, they all should be at time 0 or year 0, and they shouldn't have any information in it yet because I haven't put any in. So we do know that it works. So now we're going to scroll up, and then we're going to say Get Link to Preview. So if I click there, that's going to take me to a page that has just the timeline on it. All right. So I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to copy that address from the browser bar. So Control-C. So this is actually what I'm going to submit, this link up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Link. I'm going to paste that in, Control-V. And that's going to put in that timeline right into my Google Classroom assignment here. Now, just to double check that it works, I'm going to click on it and see if it opens up that timeline and that the timeline works. If you don't do this step and it doesn't work, you may get reduced credit on there. So make sure that you are double checking that everything is submitted correctly. All right. All right. I double checked that it worked. I'm going to click on Turn In. And it's going to ask me to turn it again and say, yes, I want to turn that in. All right. So if I look at step 5 here, so it says I'm done, but there's one more step that I want you guys to complete. On step 5, it says also copy that link and paste it into your blog post on your website. So we're going to actually add it to our WordPress blog as well. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to open up WordPress.com. Again, you want to click Login. If you forgot your username or your password, your username first off can just be your email address. If you forgot your password, click on Lost Your Password and put in your Newberg email address. I have mine saved. All right. So after you have gotten to that point, you're going to click on Write. You're going to open up a new blog post and click on Write. Okay. So for the title for your blog, you can just, title it the same name as the assignment, which was Atomic Theory Development Timeline. We're going to add a link here, just the link that we copied earlier. We're going to paste that URL in, Control-V pastes it. After the link text, I might just, rewrite the assignment title again, Atomic Theory Development Timeline, and add that link, right? So I have here the link, right? And then what I'm going to do next is I have to make sure to categorize this. So if I click in here, I have a category already named Matter in the Universe. So I'm going to check that, and I'm going to uncheck Uncategorize. So that way the only category I have here is Matter in the Universe. Now, if you don't have that category there yet, right, so you only have Climate and Weather and Uncategorized, I'm going to click Add New Category. and then you're going to write matter in the universe. Mine already exists, but if yours doesn't exist, you're just going to click add, and that'll make it appear. And again, just check that one and uncheck the uncategorized. All right, so we have that all set up. We're going to click publish. And as soon as we see that green bar appear up there at the top, that means we're done. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any further questions, ask your partners first, read the instructions, and then ask me if you still have questions about it. But don't be shy. Hope you guys do well in this, and good luck.